take gambling, badass men in suits, philosophy, mind-breaking twists, and the greatest art in manga together, and you get this, Usogui. This piece of art is just something else. Something that is surprisingly not looked at as one of the greatest manga of all time, as it's severely, and I mean severely, underrated. I mean, I barely see it on anyone's list, and it's far down any of the anime and manga rating sites like My Anime List. But as we all know, whenever a manga is nowhere near the top on sites like these, it doesn't mean they're bad in any way. And so scrolling down all the way down to the 453rd ranked manga, I found this hidden gem. No, I couldn't. I was just recommended this manga. But hey, I'm glad I did, because even when I was told that this is quote-unquote
peak fiction, GOAT, raw, fire,
or any other words to ride your manga hard, it still broke past my expectations and gave me such a great experience. So today, it's my turn to recommend it to some people. And I'm hoping you'll get on it, even if the chapter count is like this, because I know some of y'all are lazy as hell. Usogui, a gambling manga created by Sako Toshio, who has also competed in boxing matches before, which is really cool. This manga ran from 2006 to 2017, producing a number of 539 chapters. Oh, and don't worry, these chapters are usually around 16 to 18 pages long, even if this manga is a seinen. If you are ever planning to binge this manga, you could easily do so, but you have to remember to pay attention to the dialogue, as some game rules may seem too complex to just skim over. You will literally find yourself lost. I'm serious. I had to reread a couple of chapters just to get the game rules all set in my head. When you do understand the games though, you are saddened by how amazing the tactics and strategies are played by our main characters. Bruh, because these type of twists that happen in most games will make you black out. Now, for real, I'm saying every game in this manga keeps you consistently entertained. The story itself is entertaining as well and doesn't make you black out in a, well, different way. Usogi's plot is basically structured to portray the journey of Baku Madarame, our protagonist of the story, who's basically a chaotic and ambitious gambler. His main goal is to take part in a once-in-a-lifetime gamble called Surpassing the Leader. Surpassing the Leader is an ultimate match held by a secret organization called Kakuro. Kakuro, well, is an organization that holds many powerful and deadly people such as the referees. Each referee is highly trained and watches over any gambling match Kakuro has taken control over, such as Surpassing the Leader. This match is played by the leader of Kakuro and a person who has acquired referee number 0, 50 billion yen, and enough power to dominate other enemy organizations. The winner of the match would also become the leader of the organization which Baku is trying to become. He actually surprisingly took part in this gamble before the story began, but lost. He was spared of his death, but it was only put on hold for whenever the leader feels like he wants to kill him. With Baku's life intact, he's thrown into a world where he has no power, no money, and no connections. He's back to square one and is in need to once again take part in Surpassing the Leader. It's a thrilling ride that takes us to many different games, with them having Baku go up against terrorists and different organizations. And all of these games, and I mean all of them, have extremely high stakes, even if the game is simply just poker. Usogui is able to take a game like Hangman and turn it into one of the most horrifying things you would never want to take part in. Most people Baku competes against in these gambles get expanded upon and don't get forgotten as the story progresses. It also shows us how they affected other characters and places in the story, and not just Baku. The world building is crazy. The many characters, locations, and concepts introduced are something that keeps you so intrigued with the plot, and it really doesn't fall flat. Also, the foreshadowing. The foreshadowing is another thing, and I have to be honest, it's probably my favorite foreshadowing in manga. I swear, Usogui doesn't miss in foreshadowing. There are many themes in Usogui that are explored, and they're probably my favorite part in this manga other than the characters. Themes such as identity, justice, destiny, order/chaos, and perfection are some that I can say I loved, and how they were handled won't leave you disappointed. This series is extremely plot driven and is able to push the characters into different situations that tackle these themes and see how they execute them and grow from their exploration of these concepts. Some themes in Usogui are executed way better on this manga's characters than how they are on other particular characters in different stories. Some parts in this manga can get pretty complex at times, so being able to look into these themes could help a lot on how to work out what a specific character means in the story. If you don't, hey, it doesn't really matter. Who really cares about themes and stories anyway? They're just there for leaders to stay up all night to write about. Nah, but for real, The way some themes in this manga are handled is amazing, something that really enhances the story tenfold. Themes such as order and chaos can be made into such a great character dynamic, and guess what? It's executed beautifully for two specific characters and increases their value a lot. Usogi's characters are great. Some are some of the most compelling characters you could find in manga, and some are some of the most entertaining characters you could find while reading manga as well. The referees are just amazing. In every fight they're in, they just go completely hard. The villains in this manga as well are pretty solid, especially the side villains. They got some solid backstory and motives, and as well as a solid challenge to go up against Baku to match up against him. The second greatest arc in this manga is Baku going up against a side villain. Now the main antagonist is someone that just rose to become my favorite antagonist in all of manga. I don't really want to talk about him, as most of the things I would say would go into major spoiler territories, but I'm just gonna say he won't disappoint you. Now our main characters Baku, Kaji, and Mako all have interesting stories in the manga. Baku's character is chaotic and unpredictable, which is crazy as he's our main character. We're supposed to know what he's thinking. His plans, tactics, and strategies are insane, and you'll be wondering how he even worked out all of that by the end of the game. He's a character that you'll have no idea what he could do even if he's the protagonist. He could seem one step ahead of someone, or even 24 days ahead of a whole organization. He's a whole different breed, I swear. Kaji is the underdog of the group, someone who keeps growing and evolving in each gamble he's a part of. He has some amazing moments in some arcs, which shows that not just Baku can take the spotlight of our main characters. Lastly, Mako is someone who is haunted by his past, and his growth to overcome that is immaculate. He's the heavy hitter of the group, so whenever you see him in this manga, you already know you're about to see some good shit. Also, did I say before, but the art in this manga is otherworldly. It may seem weird at first for about 3 arcs, but after those arcs, the art turns up so much that you'll forget you were even reading the same manga before. And I mean, this also counts in arc quality as well, cause the final arcs at the end of the manga, oh man, you have to find out for yourself. Just look at this, and this, and this. Get on this manga right now to read greatness. Come on man, you have to.